Hi, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a VR to Rhiannon over at Rhiannon Rambles and Readings. And this is her Wanderlust Decks tag. And the premise of this is summer travel and the categories of that traveling, of different types of traveler that you would be, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this. Our first category is the backpacker. This deck is adventurous, practical, and versatile. So the deck I chose is the Learning Tarot cards, and this is put out by Witchy Cauldron, and I think I got it from directly from their site. I might have got it from Etsy. I can't remember now. But I actually saw this deck on Rhiannon's channel, and that's what made me want to pick it up. And this is why I picked it as the backpacker, because you don't need anything else besides this. If you're a backpacker, you've got minimal things that you're taking with you, so you don't need any tarot books, astrology books, anything of that sort, because everything is right here on the card for you. That's why I picked that it was very versatile and practical. And I love this deck because it has like for the majors, it has an affirmation on here. I ride the waves of life. The upright reversed meanings, the picture of the Rider-Waite. It has the chakra symbol. It has whether it's a yes, no, or a maybe card. And it has the planetary and zodiac symbols all on the card. It's all right there for you. The minors, the same, have the exact same thing, except they have like a key phrase. I love it. I actually originally bought this deck for my son, who wanted a tarot because he uses the Star Dragon Oracle deck and loves it. But he wanted a tarot but wasn't sure, and he doesn't really like looking the things up in the book and that, and I thought this would be perfect because everything's right there. And he did use it for a short time, but now that he's off at college, I took it back over and it's in my stash now. So, but yes, I think this is a perfect fit for the backpacker because this is the only thing that you need to throw in your bag because everything is right here on the card for you. Okay, our second category is the cruiser. This is a deck that's relaxing, luxurious, and enjoyable. And the very first deck I thought of, which isn't technically a deck, but it's still tarot, is the Charmcast Tarot by, I think it's the Story Oracle. I did not get the metal version. I got the less expensive plastic tiles, but I love these. I find it relaxing because I just like to reach my hand in the bag, which I won't do on camera because it might be annoying to some people, but I like to just reach my hand in the bag and swirl the tiles around and pick them out. Since I like charm casting so much, it was a no-brainer to get this. So when she came out, or when they came out with this version of the plastic that's a more affordable version, I had to jump right on it. So this is what I have picked for the cruiser category. The next category is the road tripper. This deck is spontaneous, fun, and surprising. And for that, I picked the Broke Bee Tarot. This is the Broke Bee Tarot training deck by Kat Daring and Taryn Masterson. I got this off Etsy, and I picked this deck up after I saw it on Robin's Reflections channel because it's super cute. Very minimalistic, but it is small and compact where you could just toss it in your bag. So wherever you were going and you wanted to have some fun with friends, you could whip this deck out, you know, from whatever bag you're carrying, because it is small. It's about playing card size. It does have just like a couple keywords for upright and reversed on there. And it has kind of modern images, and like I said, very minimalistic. And I thought it was perfect deck for fun. And it was surprising because I was shocked at how much I enjoyed the deck once I got it. I mean, yes, I ordered it, so I obviously liked it. But once I started using it, I had a lot of fun with it. And I was surprised how much I really did enjoy using it. So that is my road tripper. So the next category is the Explorer. This deck is curious, daring, and open-minded. And for that, I picked the Rosebud Tarot. Now, I haven't actually used this deck yet. Shuffled through it, looked at the cards, but the reason that I picked it, is it's so different. The collage and everything, the black and white with the color, I love it. And I think it has a unique take on some of the card meanings as far as the pictures go. So I really can't wait to use it. But I do feel that I'll have to kind of have an open mind when using it because of the way some of the pictures are on here, and opening myself up to maybe a little bit different interpretation to that card, or something along those lines. So that's why I thought this was perfect for the Explorer. And look, it even has a man on the moon, which I think goes really great with like the Explorer category. So yeah, this is a perfect fit for that. So our next category is the Tourist, and this deck is popular, accessible, and well known. And the deck I chose is the Witch's Garden Tarot. And I did forget to say in the very beginning, when I picked decks for this VR, I tried to pick decks that only came into my collection within the past year. So I got them sometime in 2022 up until today. Otherwise, I would have just kept pulling the same old decks. I would have pulled the Light Seers, and I would have pulled the Pulp Tarot, and things that I've already pulled for other VRs that I've done over the past year. So I wanted to really push myself for this one and only pick decks that were brand new to my collection, only a year old. Sorry if you heard that motorcycle going by. Man, it was really loud. But anyway, I picked this one because I think this deck is quite popular right now. I see it used a lot on Instagram posts and in videos here recently. And I have to say, I love this deck. This is like a new favorite. And I don't want to say that it has edged out my Green Witch Tarot, because I have a very strong bond to that Green Witch Tarot. But holy moly, this deck has just blown me away. I have worked with it now for a solid month in August, and I am pairing it with my Southern Gothic Oracle, and I just love it. I love the imagery. I love the intuitive hits I get off the cards. It is becoming a very top favorite of mine, and like I said, is just about ready to put the Green Witch Tarot into second place. That's how much I love it. I don't care about the misprint. I just added a little Sharpie in to take care of that. But yeah, this is my pick for the Tourist. So our next category is the Local. This deck is authentic, familiar, and close to home. And instead of picking a deck that I know really well, I picked a deck based on the imagery, and that is the Pastoral Tarot. And the reason I picked this deck is not this picture right here, but a lot of these images I see in the area that I live in. You drive down any country road here and you see the red barns. There are plenty of woods that I have walked through and come across the little creeks that are there. Cricks, creeks, however, whatever dialect you use, we call them cricks here. I know they're creeks. So yeah, that's why I picked this. I know this is more based on a little further west than where I'm at, but there is a lot of familiarity in the imagery of these cards to my local landscape, and that's why I chose it for the local. We live right along the Ohio River. There's the red barns. Like I said, you drive down any country road here and there are barns and pastures with horses and cows, and there's small farms and things like that. So this is kind of what winter looks like here. And yeah, this is very familiar to me. So I thought it was a perfect representation for the local category. Okay, our next category is the Jet Setter. This deck is glamorous, sophisticated, and worldly. I had a hard time with this one, especially since I was just picking decks, like I said, that have only been in my collection from 2022 until today. But I came up with the Touchstone Tarot by Cat Black. I thought this was perfect once I started flipping through it as being in the category of sophisticated and worldly, since it's taken from these Renaissance Baroque style paintings. Takes you into a whole different time period, and that's why I thought it fit very well into, Jet Setter, going over to maybe Europe and seeing these paintings. I've just worked with this deck for a solid month over the summer and loved it. I love the way this deck reads, considering these are just pieces of artwork that were placed on these cards, but it just fits seamlessly with the card meaning and the pictures that were chosen, and it's become a favorite of mine. My only complaint is I wish they would re-release it in a full-scale picture and without all the brown border. I wouldn't even mind the white border, just to get rid of the brown. But this is a lovely deck, and it just made me think of being a jet setter and worldly. So the next category is the Pilgrim, and this deck is spiritual, meaningful, and transformative. And the deck I chose for that is the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot. I think this deck is lovely. It's by Radley Valentine. This is basically just reworked art, or redone art, not reworked, redone art for his and Doreen Virtue's other Guardian Angel tarot, because the guidebook is identical to the original Guardian Angel tarot deck. So just know that in case you don't have this. But the imagery, of course, is completely different. Because the other one had the imagery with like the cherubs and that kind of thing, that everybody called like the grandma deck. So more modern take on the images, but the guidebook is exactly the same. However, since it's angels, I thought it fit very well in the spiritual category, and angels are very important to me, so that's why I chose it for meaningful and transformative also. I do love the imagery on here. I've worked with this deck very little, but I don't have anything negative or whatever to say about it because I think it's fantastic. So yeah, this is my choice for my spiritual Pilgrim. Pilgrim? Yeah, Pilgrim deck. The next category is the Nomad. This deck is free spirit. It's an independent and it's adaptable. So for this one, I picked the Star Seeker Tarot by Nikki Farada, however you say her last name. This is an independent deck. That's one reason that I picked it and put it in the independent category. If you saw my 1 year video, you know this deck's brand new to me, so I haven't really read with it yet. But just looking through the images, it felt kind of that free spirit, otherworldly energy to it. And that's why I picked it for this category. Again, I'm just picking decks that I've only had in the past year. So it really pushed me to look for decks that would fit in these categories. But yeah, I showed this all the way through in my 1 year video, so I won't spend too much time on it here, but it just has that, you know, kind of free spirit feeling to it. Not as much as like, say, the Light Seer would have, but I think very similar. So the next category is the Culture Vulture, and this deck is diverse, educational, and enriching. I don't know about educational, but I feel that this deck is very diverse and enriching, and I spent the whole month of June working with this deck, and it was a magical experience, and that is the Super Lunaris Spark Edition. I love the diversity in here. I love the non-traditional people that they have on certain cards that you don't see represented in like a traditional Rider-Waite. I love how the imagery is portrayed in the cards in regards to that, and it is a favorite of mine, and I would easily pick this up instead of like a traditional style Rider-Waite deck to use. I mean, the body images show diversity, the race diversity, and so on. I really love this deck. It became a favorite of mine after using it. And I know people don't like to use a deck for a whole entire month, but when a deck is brand new for me, I like to use it consistently for a period of time, even if that period of time is only 2 weeks, as long as I'm doing multiple readings with it. It's how I get a feel for the energy of the deck. I do personify my decks, so it's how I get a feel for the energy of the deck. It's how I get a feel for how the deck reads, because all my decks read a little differently. I pull different decks for different reasons and different energies and, you know, that kind of thing. And that's the type of reader I am. So I do like to use a new deck for a longer period of time, just in the beginning, so I can get a feel for it. And that's why you hear me say, oh, I use this deck for a whole month, because it's usually a brand new one, and I really wanted to get a feel of how it was going to read. But once I get to know the deck, I pick them up and, you know, use them however I want to use them. But in the beginning, I try to use them for a longer period of time, which is kind of a ramble of, you know, but still, I really enjoyed this deck. The only thing is it clumps a little bit when you shuffle it. This is the linen edition, but it's lovely. So that is my Culture Vulture. So the next category is the volunteer. And this deck is compassionate, helpful, and altruistic. And the deck I chose is the only, I guess, oracle, but it's really like an affirmation deck. And it's the only one. Everything else is tarot. And that is the Wisdom del Alma. I cannot even explain how powerful this deck is for me. On the back, I mean, it says powerful reminders for the soul affirmations, pour sacred honey on the parts of you that need it most, infusing soul medicine into your heart. They are gentle nudges to keep on going and offer alchemizing fire and inspiration to transform fear into courage, confusion into clarity, and chaos into calm. I think those couple sentences right there are exactly what the volunteer would be. They encourage you, they bring clarity to any confusion and calm to your chaos, and that is this deck. In case you haven't seen it before, it has like the affirmation on the front and then a larger description on the back, and that's all there is. There's no guidebook, there's no nothing, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful deck and a very powerful deck, at least for me. I need those empowering and encouraging words sometimes, and this is the deck that I've been turning to for that. I used this for a couple months straight, and I just loved it. I had to force myself to put it away so I could pull out some other decks I hadn't used yet and start working with them. But this is one that I will still grab out of my cupboard and pull myself a card of encouragement. And in case you were wondering, this is put out by Hay House. And on the day I'm filming this, Hay House is running their 50% off sale. And this deck is spectacular. And that is my volunteer. So our next category is the Solo Traveler. And this deck is introspective, self-reliant, and empowering. And I cheated a little bit with this because I have shown this in a VR before, but I don't care. It's the only one that I felt fit, the Solo Traveler, and that is the Tarot of Oneness. But the reason I picked this one is because of the first person perspective of the whole thing, which puts me right into that solo traveler state. It is definitely, I feel more of that introspective vibe when I read with this deck. I could have probably put this deck in a couple other categories too. This would have been a good backpacker deck. Because of some of the imagery on here. And I also feel this tarot is very empowering. So it fit all three things right for me. And like I said, because of the perspective of this, where, you know, you're seeing what the person is seeing, that's why I chose this as my solo traveler. This is another favorite of mine. Absolute favorite. And our final category is the Dreamer. This deck is imaginative, it's creative, and I couldn't read my own writing, and a visionary. And the deck that I chose for that is the Cat Tarot, brand new to my collection. This is, I think, Lo Scarabeo. Yes. So I got this off of Llewellyn during one of their sales. And the reason I picked this as imaginative and creative is because it's cats dressed up in, oh, whoops. I guess that goes this way. It's cats dressed up in like pulp culture or different characters through time. And so I think that's very creative and imaginative. And that's how this ended up in the Dreamer category. It does say, in case you're interested in the guidebook, it kind of tells you who these characters are in case you can't recognize them, because I wasn't sure on some of them, but I love it. Like Mary Poppins, there was Luke Skywalker. I can't remember who they all are. I think that's Mulder. What was that called? The X-Files? Does that sound right? Am I saying that right? Robin Hood, Dorothy, Marilyn. Oh, is this Marilyn Monroe? Oh no, that might not be Marilyn Monroe. That might be Bridget Bardot. I can't remember. But like I said, it says in the book. But I thought this was really cute and fun and creative. This is a great deck, I think, to just play around with. Okay, guys, that is it. I think I covered all the categories for Rhiannon's tag. Thank you so much, Rhiannon, for creating this tag. It was really fun to do, and I'm glad I'm not too late in participating in it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. And don't forget, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel. And until I see you next time, bye.